Breaking news coming in, an eviction notice has been served to Mehbooba Mufti. Top sources tell CNN News 18 that former CM Mehbooba Mufti has been asked to vacate the CM's bungalow. Sources say that this notice was served earlier this week. Voices in Jammu and Kashmir have been questioning the extended long rope and why Ms. Mufti has been allowed an extended stay at the CM's residence for more than 3 years since the end of her position as CM of the erstwhile state of J&K. The abrogation of Article 370, the change of status of J&K and Ladakh and Union Territories and President's rule brought an end to her tenure as the CM. Questions have been repeatedly raised on why the state and the taxpayer is bearing the burden for the PDP chief, who no longer holds a constitutional post. Ms. Mufti has been set a timeline for evacuation. Now we're joined by my colleague and our managing editor Anand Narasimhan, who brings us more details. Anand, the residents call Fairview very ironically, and that big question being asked by the centre: why is taxpayers' money being used when her term ended 3 years ago?
Well, it's not just what we're given to understand is that this eviction notice has been served to her about 4 or 5 days ago, so towards the end of last week or early this week. But more importantly, it is we are given to understand that this is a measure that has been forced upon because of her overstay. More than about 3 years now since the abrogation of Article 370 and her role as Chief Minister coming to an end, with the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir ceasing to exist, and with 370, the status of Union Territories, Ladakh and Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir being accorded to them. According to these entities, that is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, her role came to an end because President's rule came into effect, and it is a centrally administered situation in Jammu and Kashmir at this point over the last 3 years. So why is she staying at a former CM at a bungalow meant for the Chief Minister of the state? Why is she continuing to stay there, and why is the state paying the cost? So these are questions that have been asked repeatedly, and many have said that why is this soft approach towards those who are continuously verbally pelting stones at India and also sowing the seeds of separatism and providing cover fire to those agents of the enemy or Pakistan proxies. So these questions were asked repeatedly, and now we are given to understand that an eviction notice has actually been served to Ms. Mufti, and she's been asked to evacuate that bungalow.
Anand, is this the first time she's been asked to evacuate the bungalow? Even last year, she had said some PDP leaders are being targeted and that she was fearful for her safety.
Well, it is not about PDP leaders or otherwise. She has her own property. She is no longer Chief Minister of the state. So why should she live in a bungalow or a residence which is given by the state? The question is not about people being targeted. It's about probity. It's about not extending or overstaying a place which has been allotted to you as a privilege or as an accordance because you are the Chief Minister of the state. When you cease to be the Chief Minister of the state, it is only pertinent and it is only probity demands that you vacate that bungalow and vacate that place and go and live at your own quarters. So nobody is stopping Ms. Mehbooba Mufti from living in her own quarters, which he has built and which he has actually named as Raj Bhavan. So why can't she live in her own residence, and why should she continue to live in the Chief Minister's residence when she is no longer a Chief Minister? And it's not just that she is about 2-3 months or 6 months; it's 3 years now.
Anand, as you're mentioning, it's been 3 years, but how do we expect her to react to this eviction notice? How do we expect her to respond, or perhaps the party to respond to this?
Well, that is for Ms. Mufti and to respond. If she expects probity and if she expects a good governance, and if she promises to people, if she's planning to go back to the people claiming that only she can deliver good governance, then the people of Jammu and Kashmir expect her to walk the talk, and she has to explain to people why she has overstayed and why she has not vacated state premises or government premises that don't actually belong to her, which belong to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and it's run out of the taxpayers' money, built out of the taxpayers' money. Why should she continue to stay on there? That is something which Ms. Mufti has to respond. And we are given to understand that the notice has been served. Now it is up to Ms. Mufti and the PDP to confirm or deny whether a notice has been served or not.
Well, Anand, as you're mentioning, this is a taxpayer's money, but what do the locals of Jammu and Kashmir feel? Do they also echo this sentiment that it is an overstay of a leader at a government property, especially 3 years after a tenure?
This is the single most voice that has come through, and in fact the administration under the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha ji has come under a severe amount of criticism by the locals and local leaders who are questioning that if these were people who have run Jammu Kashmir aground and who have misused this entire concept of one nation, one constitution by misused Article 370, then why is it that they have been given a long rope? For 18 months, many people, while I was in Jammu and Kashmir recently, also turned around and asked the same questions of the Jammu and Kashmir administration and also the central leadership, that netas who are responsible principally for sowing the seeds of separatism, for giving cover fire to these proxies, why is it that they continue to enjoy purchase and enjoy privileges when they are no longer in a position or they no longer hold constitutional posts? So on the one hand, the criticism that was being mounted upon the BJP is that on the one hand they are blaming the Parivar, that is the Abdullahs and the Muftis, for the situation in Jammu and Kashmir over the last 7 decades. But now at this point, they have not been. But while they have not taken any action against the overstay of Ms. Mehbooba Mufti itself as in government premises. So, but now we are given to understand that the notice has actually indeed been served, and that too late last week or early this week.